Hello and welcome. Today we are going to go ahead and take a look at the HopeTech freighter. So HopeTech has always been known as more of the, you know, big trucks and the haulers. So it's interesting to see how well that actually plays out in shipbuilding and ship design as opposed to just lore blurbs. Now, the freighter class is similar to my holo class. It's all designed about how much cargo can you move. However, while I'm still limiting the ships to requiring 0 ranks of starship design, I am allowing them to be Class B or Class C. This particular ship is a Class B ship because after some experimenting, I found that the engines and grav drives for Class C all require starship design. So if you're just trying to cram on a ton of cargo, Class B is going to be better for you. So now that we've taken a look at that, let's go ahead and do an interior tour. All right. So first things first, we are going to enter into a HopeTech 2x3 cargo hold. If we come around forward, I have a 2x1, which you can make into whatever you'd like, but I use the workshop here. And additionally, here is going to be our docking port. Coming back over here, let's come to this side first. And in here, you will see a 2x1, and this one is configured as the living quarters. You could also very easily make this into the all-in-one, or you can stick an armory or infirmary anywhere on the ship. There's going to be a total of 5 2x1 habs that you can have be basically whatever you want. On this side, you can see that I went with the 2x1 all-in-one berth. So with the living quarters giving 2 beds and this giving 4, we currently are up to 6 beds. Did the living quarters have a bathroom? Double check. No, the living quarters does not come with a bathroom. Interesting. Alright, then we are going to jump on up here, and you'll see that we are immediately entering into the 2x1 control station. Let's just give some more crew space for your ship. And then back here we have the 2x1 captain's quarters, another bathroom and a bed. And then jumping on up here, we have the companionway. And then finally, we have our cockpit. And that is the interior tour. So let's go ahead, see how to build it, and see what the stats are.
Got anything you need to offload? Sure, how about it?
Alright, so as mentioned, you can see I've got a B-class reactor. I still have the 27 light year jump range. The cargo hold here is taking into account my ranks of the payload skill. So that's going to be higher than the base amount. And here we can just take a quick look at the ship from all angles. Okay, now that that's done, let's go ahead and hop into the builder. Grab the colors, because I kind of like them and don't want to have to go refine them. There we go. And then select everything and delete it. Alright, so this is a Hope Tech ship. Everything that you need is here at Hopetown on Volvo. You don't need to go anywhere else to pick up anything else. Um, I am making use of the ship flip glitch on this one, primarily just to get the landing bay underneath the habs, because otherwise it doesn't fit. So if you want to build this exactly as is, please make sure that you enable the flip glitch in your settings. Alright, starting with the cargo hold, we're going to put that there. Then we're going to stick whatever 2x1 we want up front. On this ship, I had it as the workshop. Then we're going to come over here, and we're going to stick whatever 2x1 we want back here, which in this ship configuration I showed, that was the living quarters. And then this one was the all-in-one berth. Next up, I have my control station. And then I have my captain's quarters. Finally, right above here, I'm going to go ahead and put the companionway fuselage. Alright, that is almost it for the living spaces. So now let's go ahead and grab our docker and cockpit. So, starting with the docker, I'm going to stick that right up front. And then the cockpit, I'm using the Armstrong 20E because everything better requires starship design, and everything worse is just slightly less cargo, so might as well go with this one, right? Note, if you are wanting to build the ship yourself, you can very easily drop this cockpit down to something lighter, and it will make exactly 0 differences in your ship. Alright, next up, let's come on down over here, and we're going to start looking at the back of the ship. So I'm actually going to go ahead and start with the engines. Now, for this ship, and actually for all of the Hope Tech, Tayo, and Stroud ships, we get the SAE engines. So we have the Am Done, which if you've watched my other Nova and Daimler's freighter videos, you would see that these were available from those. But the Hercules and the other curved shape one aren't available here at HopeTech. However, the SAE ones are, and the first thing that you will notice is that this is producing 3150 maneuvering thrust. Well, this one is producing 4440, so nearly, actually over 1,000 more maneuvering thrust. Additionally, 1400 engine thrust and 1400 engine thrust. So basically what I'm saying is these engines are just straight up better. And on this ship, I have 3 of them. And I'm going to just place that right there. This is actually going to end up right under this. However, I don't have the things to connect it to yet. Next, since I'm right here, might as well grab my fuel tanks. On this ship, I went ahead and shoved a pair of the Titan 550s in right here. And this is going to be right underneath where this, right above where this engine is. Then, right in here is where I have the grav drive and reactor. So, taking a look at my reactors, I have the Z Machine 2000, which is giving me 21 reactor. The mag inertial reactors, I can either get 16 power or I need Starship design. And then finally there's the ion beam, which is 16 power, or I need Starship design again. So I'm going with the Z Machine just because I would rather have that extra power. Next, right below it, I'm going to put my grav drive. For the B-class grav drives, you've got the choices of the Aurora, the RD1000, or the Slayton. Slayton makes great engines. They do not make good grav drives, so you can generally just ignore these. The RD series are pretty decent. However, they do not have a front or back connector, and on this particular build, I do need that back connector to connect this engine. You will also note that the reactor does not have the back connection point either. So, in order to get that engine attached, I need to do the Aurora grav drives. And then, as I mentioned, there are the Class C ones, but they require Starship design. So that's why we are sticking to Class B. Now that that's in place, I can go ahead and stick my engine on. Alright, now I have an error left. It's that I need my landing gear. Now this ship has 6 landing gear, 1 in each of these configurations. And then to get them on, I do need to flip them into place because it just barely clips into the base of the hull above it. So this is actually not clipping in enough that you can actually see it when you walk through, but it is clipping in enough that you can't just put it there without the flip glitch. Flip, flip. Grab this one, flip it, flip, flip, and that's in place. So you will notice I am putting it on the front mount point of the landing gear, the back mount point of the landing gear, and then attached to the grav drive. There we go. All right. Technically, now the ship is flyable. All that I have left here is I need to put the cargo holds on. I need to add my shield, weapons, and then greebling. And if you're not familiar with the term greebling, that just means all the structural elements that are there because it looks good and not because it's actually functional. So, speaking of cargo, let's go ahead and grab that first. Now, for this particular ship, I am running 10 Stormax 50 cargo holds, and that is it. 2. And you'll notice that I have to flip this into place because it is clipping in with that landing gear again. I could also put the cargo in place first and, still flip the landing gear in place afterwards. There we go. You can see that right now I've got 3480 cargo. And I still have a 28 light year jump range. This is going to drop to 27 after I add these shields, weapons, and greebling. Next up, let me go ahead and start adding those structural components. I have a porthole back here, a weapon mount here, a porthole here, and a weapon mount here. Continuing on, let me go ahead and grab my radiator, which I placed right here. And then I'm going to put the aft pipes rear, or aft. Slap on some nose caps back here. Slap this on, and then I'm going to put a bunch of the mid pipes in. And then right under here, I put the hook tip cap B mid. This just kind of brings it down a little bit and makes it look like it's attached. It is actually not attached, but appearance matters sometimes. Copy this on over here. Copy that there. And I am Where? Alright. And taking a look here, I have another Hoptech Pipes 4 somewhere. I am not entirely sure where I put this. Oh, that's what it was. I had just kind of flipped this into place to kind of fill that area right there out. Also, if I was using a reactor that had a back connection point and a grav drive that didn't, or I reversed this so that way the grav drive was on top, that would still make sure that the engine is connected. Alright, greebling done. Now let's go ahead and check out these shields. So coming down here, you can see I ended up with the 22T Defender shield generator. And let me just check if I had shoved that back here. No, okay. Fine. Alright, so I have the shield generator, which just needs to connect to literally any of the side attachment points. It's not really somewhere that I can hide it, so it's just slap it on wherever I want. So I'm just going to slap it on right here. Alright, now let's go ahead and take a look at my weapons. Now, as usual, you can use whatever weapons you would like. For this build, I decided I wasn't going to use my usual particle weapons because I just use them a lot. Um, if I was playing on a higher difficulty, I still would use that, or if I was expecting this ship to ever really see combat. Um, but for lower difficulties or just for, it looks cool, I'm going ahead and using. Really? You're doing. Okay. A pair of the Riza 45 gigahertz pulse lasers, and then a pair of the Dangan PB cannons. Now, I will note that these are Class A weapons. Um, I can very easily swap to Class B weapons, but weapons are one of those things that I kind of leave up to use really whatever you would like, because you're the only one who knows how to fly your ship. Um, so with this particular loadout, I need 29 equip power to get everything active. With anitronic fusion, I've got 26, so I've got to give up 3 power somewhere around here. If I was, as I said, planning to actually heavily use this ship, or I was expecting it to ever see combat, I would come on down here to the Class B weapons, and I would probably grab 3 of the Eradicator 75 MEVs. And by doing that, I'm going to need 27 equip power. So basically, I would leave one of these pips undone and just apply everything there. And with 3 of those, I can just go ahead and stick them right up here, and I don't need this Horizon weapon mount here. So, all this being said, you can see I've got 3480 cargo, 610 shield, 754 hull, and because these engines are just straight up better, I also have 60 mobility still, despite carrying more cargo than some of my other builds. And that, again, all comes down to the fact that each one of these gives an extra 1,000 maneuvering thrust. So if there's one thing to take away from this that and you don't want to fly a Hope Tech specific ship, it's you do want to go into um, what's it called Freestar Collective space, so that way you can get some of these engines on your ships. All right, I've got one last thing to do, and that is to paint my ship. And there we go. And now that I've done that, let me go ahead and take this baby out. And we'll take a couple pictures. Just do a little circle. Shot from the underside. You can see the moon back there. And then nice shot from the top. All right. Thank you very much for joining me. If you enjoyed watching this, go ahead and hit like, comment, subscribe, all those YouTube things. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.